Now, should a people, as a people with an APEP philosophy, with over 6 million people in a secret society, intelligence agencies, military, police, and other social controllers, right? Should they be in charge? They are the illegitimate barbarians with their pagan perspective, their Japheth barbarian pagan perspective of Egypt and the Jews. Okay? Are they meant to be in charge? No. These are the people we all know lie. Is there any of you that doubt we've had a long list of white presidents that lie? Any of you that doubt there's a long list of white Jewish media mongrels that lie? And white media mongrels as well. Do any of you doubt that? So these people have a long list of whites and white Jews, with all due respect, and Asians helping them out, okay? Because you see this, what is technology, right? Technology represents where whites, Jews, and Asians work together to control the information age and your perspective of the world, your social trends, and understand you so they know how to manipulate you better, okay? These are the illegitimate people from the Northeast, okay? They all are. They are not meant to rule. God made us superior naturally. These people have to hide behind Babylonian social norms. I mean, let's look at this thing for what it is now. Let's look at white Christian argument, the white racist Christian argument. Their argument is, yes, we live in a demonic world controlled by white people, but white people are, and whites and white Jews, but whites are the God race, and God loves them more than everyone else. Isn't that stupid? Like, yes, the meek inherit the earth, and the blacks are the poorest people and the most meek, and we're the people abusing them and telling them what to do and forcing them to do it our way, coercing them. But hey, they're not going to inherit the earth. Nothing but white people will. I mean, don't you see how stupid their argument is? These are the people who lie about God to make themselves look good. If any of you do their martial arts, which is even a Roman word, the name martial arts implies a Babylonian, Roman, Jesus-killing, pagan idea about how to do martial arts. Horus is the light temple. Even if the Jews weren't the children of Horus, which I am sure they are, they think the same way. So the people who think the same way about moral codes and virtue, right, are doing Horus arts, African martial arts. And the people who think the same way as the Babylonians and the Romans are doing martial arts and even calling it martial arts after the god of war. And you sit there and pretend I'm just making this up so I can, be the best, right? When really I am the best. And I need to get it through your head that when you compete in a way that's not like a gladiator in Rome with Roman pagan Babylonian kind of martial arts that killed Jesus, when the people who did the martial arts, who killed Jesus, when the Roman soldiers who worshipped Mars and did Martian martial arts that, were used to escort Jesus to the fucking cross, you would think that every Christian would have my back, right? When the Jews went to Egypt and trained martial arts as slaves with the Egyptians and left with Egyptian Horus martial arts and started conquering other people using the light in some cases, right, using the sun, you would think that every martial artist would take my side. But you see these Babylonian coward Americans not lifting a finger to secure the descendant of Judah's rightful place in favor of Western materialism. Now you tell me which philosophy is destroying society, mine or theirs. Thank you. Now this brings me no pleasure. I love my mom, just like everyone else who has Masons in their family. My grandma the other day caused an argument. I posted a video. Okay, she argued with me about Masonry. My family is very much involved in the Scottish Rite because they are Scottish. And I'm related to Daniel Boone and a lot of people, like that, and Templars and such, okay? So my mom's grandfather, her favorite family member, and my grandma's father, her favorite family member, they both go on and on how he went to the highest degree of Masonry the hard way, which I assume means reading books and watching rituals and stuff like that, right? The hard way, not, donating money, not being an honorary 33rd degree, but an actual 33rd and 1/3 degree Mason based on his Scottish bloodline, his Templar bloodline, and so on. So now that we've established that, well, what does the Scottish Rite believe? Those of us who are into Masonry, we know the Scottish Rite is the most powerful faction of Masonry in America. Okay, so what do they believe? Who started it? A Confederate general, right? Okay, so when I read from Pike, right, I'm reading from somebody I might even be related to, okay? Because he's probably Scottish, I don't know. But there's a bunch of Scottish people at the church that I argued scripture over, okay? Basically, my white side of my family is a bunch of Vikings, pagans, who teamed up with Greco-Romans to control the perspective of black people and make us look bad. And why they pretend like I'm racist for calling them out for it. One of the last pages on Pike says, no one can have a right to think meanly of his race unless he also thinks meanly of himself. So these people are incapable of admitting where they went wrong. That's part of why God has to destroy them. They're being indoctrinated with this philosophy that says, hey, no matter what white people did, you can't make them look bad. In fact, I swear to God, I've had people tell me, look, we don't care whether or not what you're saying is true. It's the fact you make us look bad, right? And that makes people, including white people, think meanly of their race, which goes against Masonic doctrine, but is consistent with Christian doctrine of telling the truth. You're starting to see the philosophy of Set and Horus starting to play out. Okay? So let's go to one more place and show you exactly what they think everyone else's part is. What do they think about mind, body, and soul? What is the Scottish Rite, you know, the feeble, you know, it's kind of, remember, Vikings were short and their warrior prowess was exaggerated. No offense, okay? So what are the people who are short, whose warrior prowess was exaggerated, who had a pitiful fucking little colony compared to the massive empire of Egypt? You know, what do they think when it comes to mind, body, and soul? Are a bunch of short, fat, white guys, you know, beer-guzzling guys who don't do martial arts very well, you know, going to respect Horus arts? Or are they going to look for APEP and kind of big fat man arts, you know? Well, let's see. Let's use their own words, because I don't want to put any words in, you know, their mouths. This is what my mom, my grandma, and my 33rd and 1/3 degree innocent-looking grandfather, who I put a picture of in one of my videos, with the beret, right, with the French beret, okay? Why do you think that is? You're going to see a lot of berets with panthers. That shows alliance to Masonry and French ways of thinking, okay? And who was Jacques de Molay, right? He was a French Templar. Try to keep up. Try to keep up. Among men, some govern and others serve. Capital commands and labor obeys, and one race superior in intellect avails itself of the strong muscles of another that is inferior. And yet for all this, no one impeaches the justice of God. So to those who believe in chaos and evil, those racist Confederates from the Scottish Rite, they say, look, we are supposed to tell the black man what to do and not think meanly of our race no matter what. We cannot allow this guy to tell the truth, because that will challenge our ability to tell the black man what to do, our control over martial arts and everything else, you know, and it will make white people see that we're fucking scum who deserve to burn in hell, and they have accepted a varying degree of evil by accepting our Hyksos-like philosophy, our Japheth Babylonian sodomite Greco-Roman-like philosophy. Do any of you doubt that I'm wrong? Look at the picture of my great-grandfather. Okay, look, I'm sure I've shown my mother at least once. Mostly Scottish. Okay, you think it's a coincidence that my great-grandfather is a 33rd and 1/3 degree Freemason, and my mom and my grandma are yelling at me with tears in their eyes saying, you don't know what you're talking about Masonry. Neither of them knew Francis Galton was a Mason. Neither of them knew Truman, or the Mason started the CIA and the OSS and eugenics. None of them knew that. But they have tears in their eyes screaming at me, you don't know what you're talking about, and you know, don't talk bad about Masonry. And of course, Americans have their back because a Mason founded this country, right? Well, the first president was George Washington. George Washington is the Masonic founder of America, like Narmer is the Light Temple founder, the Horus founder of Egypt. Egypt was founded by a good person. As much as you are all going to hate me for it and want this video to come down, America was founded by a white, racist, slave owner or supporter, piece of shit. He supported the slave owners, okay, and the international Jews who financed the slave ship. A white, Masonic, complicit, corrupt dog founded this country in the name of everything that is evil and don't think meanly about white people. We're going to tell every other race what to do kind of philosophy, okay? That's what America was founded on. So yes, Americanism is Satanism. I mean, do I have to keep spelling it out for you? And if you ask the white Christians, they'll say this, yeah, the government is sold out to Babylon. But white people, you know, they're ignorant rednecks. I'm the top martial artist in American history, a brain surgeon's son, drugged, fumed, dehydrated. They couldn't even score a point on me in 3 fucking years. Now we're going on 5 years. Undefeated. Since my first challenge in May 2012. You starting to get it now? You need to put it in context. Who is the continuity of Afro-Asiatic light moral thought? And who is the continuity of Greco-Roman thought? So why are you letting the children of Rome and the devil tell you what to think using the media and your church and everything else? Why aren't you listening to the top martial artist who's a brain surgeon's son, the only person from his whole tribe that has emphasized doing the work of God in this right now, today, while everyone else emphasizes doing the work of the church? And where's the church founded and who controls it? Romans, Italians, Romans, Italian mafia. You're listening to the mafia, all the whores they profit, all the whores they prostitute, all the businesses they extort. They're like, look, you're going to we own your business. You're going to help us run psyops on people on behalf of the Romans who infiltrated the church and the government and their Zionist allies, or we're going to shut you down. Okay, it went from you're going to pay us money to you're going to help us run psyops. In fact, it probably always was you're going to help us gang stalk people so we can have political control like Carnegie Hall. And of course, you have the Carnegie Institute and the Rockefeller Institute. And Rockefeller's bodyguard is an Italian mafia bodyguard. You starting to get it yet, man? You white people are not the good guys unless you accept Afro-Asiatic light temple culture of God, walking in the light in its true context. Until you accept that this is not Latin or Greek, that they spoke Afro-Asiatic and had an Afro-Asiatic understanding, and your cultures went astray. Until you accept that your ancestors were wrong, and they defied God and killed Jesus, and were sodomite, Greco-Roman, pedestry practicing scum. Until you accept that, you will not make it to heaven. And I am part white, and I am telling you this. As of someone who's part white, I've accepted it. And that is symbolic of all of you white people and all you Jews having no excuse. I am part white, part Scottish, Scottish Rite white, and I accept the true gospel of God so that all you may learn from my example. I am part Jewish. Some say Syrian Jew. Judah. And I accept the true gospel of God in context. And I had to take on an African martial arts perspective and study history to understand it. It's a continuity. The Old Testament, the New. Well, what's before the Old Testament? What are the other books the Bible's referring to? And what Afro-Asiatic people wrote them as opposed to Viking psychopaths who just want to have their way and lie about God, aka the Scottish and Scandinavians. Then you have the Greeks, the Italians, the English, the French, the Germans, Ashkenazi. They all have a very powerful, well-defined history and role in the New World Order. So yes, Japheth is the children of the devil, who can only be saved through the gospel, an Afro-Asiatic gospel of God. And all you whites who want to leave the church because you put your race before God, good riddance. All you whites who are on the fence right now, you need to come to the light. Thank you. So when the racists from the Scottish Rite, the Northern Europeans, gave you the Book of Mormon, Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, all these Masons, when the church does pedophilia and pedestry, that is Greco-Roman Babylonian culture. Look it up, pedestry. It's when an older Greek or Greco-Roman, if they have a Greek culture, courts a younger boy and initiates them and teaches them everything about life, including spiritual things. So when a choir boy goes to the church looking for God, and we're supposed to bring the young to God, and this older member of the church in a secret society molests them, right? Some of these guys report it, some of it don't. There's a gay agenda. It has to do with Greco-Roman culture, Zionist, Talmudic culture, and they turn out little boys into secret societies because they have nothing but hatred for the Africans who expelled their pitiful, godless races. With no offense, okay? Well, I'll rephrase this. They're races, okay? They're groups. They're ethnic groups. So that is why. So who do you think is right? The white devil church that rapes boys left and right, those pedophiles, or a soul brother from the line of Judah who's about to give up a cushy 6-figure plus job, to be a homeless person spreading the gospel by mouth because they have sabotaged me using their technology and their Babylonian ways. Who do you think's right? Fat feminist. The argument of the Marxist, fat feminist, the Satanist, Babylon, Masons is all the same. It goes like this. It's not fair that your challenge is going to show the world that God shows your people and not us. It's going to highlight you have a superior mind, body, and soul. You're naturally superior. Do it in a way that cheaters like us have a chance.